What's up guys, I'm Futurizm and let's crack on with this. Firstly, I'd like to welcome all the new subscribers that popped over from Higgsy's shout out. I can't thank the guy enough, it means so much coming from yourself, so I imagine you'll be watching this video. But yeah, it means an awful lot. Thank you very much for heading over and making a stop at my channel. But today's topic that I want to crack into is sort of VR headsets, I suppose is the way I'm looking at it, because I've recently got a thing called a Mayo armband, which I got it through a Kickstarter. I didn't even realise that I forgot that I ordered it basically. My brother bought it me for Christmas, and I think I used it for about 2 days, the first couple of days, and then I basically put it back into a drawer, and it sort of sat there. And I think it's because, well, I'll explain what it is first so you know what I'm talking about. What it does is it goes onto your wrist, your upper forearm. I'll try and get a few pictures up now so you can understand what I'm talking about. And it can feel like the electro signals that are sent through your arm as you do different gestures, and you can use that to control a computer basically. And it was showing a presentation being used for like slideshows, and you can flick your hand back and forth and it'd change it, and you can turn volume up and down, you can twist and rotate pictures. You could use it with like a drone, and the guy was using his arms to like control like a quadricopter, which was pretty fucking cool it looked like. But I suppose I was sucked in by the fact that it looked amazing on the tutorial video. Never happens before, advertising working, that's a first. And it wasn't that much. I think it's like $100 to buy it early, and you got an alpha, sort of the earliest model that they sent out. It was pretty well far on, like it was pretty much a finished product. But the reason I'm talking about this is because it's been sat in my drawer ever since then, because I have no real purpose for it. Like if I did a presentation I'd crack it out, but I don't sit around giving presentations. And to be fair, in like my house, like, you know, you've got a remote control that turns your volume up and down, and I can pretty much, in my front room nowadays, like I've got a Kinect, I can do it with my voice, I can do it on my smart glass through my phone, I can do it from my phone anyway, or I could just find the remote. That's 4 ways. I don't need a 5th way, you know, of changing channel or turning the volume up. Like, it's almost like it's a nice idea, but it doesn't really have much use yet because the application's not there, which I can understand. But this ties into what I want to talk about when it comes to VR, because our virtual reality headset's going to be the thing in the future. Like Google Glass came out, and I know it's not VR, but the idea of wearable sort of tech, I think, is where you've got to look at it as, because that sort of flopped, you know what I mean? Like it never really took off, and they've sort of pulled it back because they realised they had to reevaluate it. And I think that will happen with no matter what tech products you release. Like when you first release a new idea or a new concept to the market, I think you don't really know what they want yet from it, so you've got to make the product, give it to them, then get a lot of feedback from it, and then start again, which I think shows so much with the Kinect on the Xbox One. Because I used the 360 Kinect, I wasn't very impressed. It wasn't an amazing, like, an achievement, if you know what I mean. Like, I didn't feel like it improved, I'd say, the living room experience of the Xbox any more than it already did. Whereas I know a lot of people who've got Xbox Ones about the Kinect, and when they come around my house and see just how integrated and how well designed it is now with the Xbox One, you aren't getting the true experience they feel if you don't have a Kinect. And my cousin's one of them people, like, he completely agrees that a Kinect is important. And it's not just for being able to pause at Kinect, like pause Netflix when you walk out of the room, or volume up and down, or, you know, switching between apps. That does help making it more fluid, like the fact that I can say 4 words rather than going through 4 menus to get to a game. It makes the experience way more complete. But being able to record clips on the fly without having to press any buttons, you just shout at your telly. And I'll be honest, like, it is spot on. Like, I never have to sign in anymore. Like, my housemate will be sitting downstairs watching TV, and I'll come in from work, and I walk into the front room, I sit down, and the Xbox goes, "Hi Thomas," and I'm like, "Cheers, bro," you know what I mean? "Hey Xbox, how you doing?" Like, it's amazing. And I don't know if VR will get to that point where it's in the living room and we appreciate it that much. I spent 4 minutes not talking about VR, but this is the topic I want to get onto. I think it's going to take a whole generation of releases from different manufacturers. So, like, you know, the HoloLens, the new Oculus Rift and stuff, and is it the VR Valve headset, Valve VR I think they're calling it. I think they all need to come out, they all need to be tested by people, and then we need to work out what we do want from VR. Because I think when people, like, you know, when people think about, you know, Call of Duty on like a VR headset, are we going to be wall running around the front room? You know, are we going to be doing boost jumps? Like, how is it going to work? How are they going to be able to integrate our actions into what's happening in the game. And how is that not going to be disorientating? Like, I've seen a lot of people playing like original horror games on Oculus Rift, and like, you know, you see them like freaking out and not wanting to play it. Like Markiplier is a great example. I don't watch him as much now, but back in the day when he first had the Oculus Rift, I used to watch it. Just, you know, it was amazing to watch. Like, but I can imagine how scary some of them horror games are being in the moment, because all of your senses are being attacked at the same time, and it must send some weird signals. And I don't know how that's going to fit in with the living room. Like I was saying in a previous comment about how I like to play a game to relax and have the fun factor, and you know, it's with your mates, you're chilling. I don't know if you'll ever be able to get that from VR. Like, I feel like it's almost too immersive, and I always want companies to push the boundaries and sort of change gaming for the better, but I can't see me, you know, just chilling playing on the side. Like, I've always said this about the Nintendo Wii. Like, it was an amazing idea because they were struggling as a company, and instead of being a games console, they sort of opened their own little market and did their own thing. But I've always said, like, you know, if I'm sitting at home or I'm not feeling very well, I've had a long day at work, I don't want to sit and have a dance around the front room, you know, and play Wii Fit or whatever it is. Like, I want to sit, chill, play a bit of COD, or chill, relax, and play, you know, a bit of Forza, enjoy a bit of racing. Like, it's a relaxing game rather than, you know, going balls to the walls and running around my room putting a full headset on. Like, I don't think I'll get sort of that release that you get. But I am still looking forward to what happens and what will come out of the products of the VR. I just think it's going to take quite a while before we have it in the living room and it is sort of usable per se, because it's a great idea. I just think that as consumers it's going to be very difficult to market, because the big problem with a lot of products nowadays is what's best for the product and what sells tend to be very, very different things, and they all, and unfortunately it gets further and further away. Advanced supply drops are the perfect example of that. That made them a shit ton of money, but it didn't do the game any good. But at the end of the day, do they care? Probably not. Like, it's the end of the day, it's their bottom line and what they make and what the bank says, not what the gamers are saying. And unfortunately, our voice is getting smaller and smaller and smaller as I think as gamers become older. You know what I mean? Like, the originals, we're all dying off. You know, we're becoming sort of tech illiterates, and we're becoming the older type, whereas the masses of the younger gamer now that owns sort of the market, they're taking over, man. And I don't know what their opinions are on VR, because I suppose they'll be what's pioneering it to the next step, and they're the people that are going to be looking at to sell a lot of these, like, you know, a lot of this hardware too. I don't, you know, because at the end of the day, kids play more games than we do. They have more free time than we do, and I think having, like, how expensive they are as well, and that kind of boundary, I think it's going to be a very difficult thing to sort of to breach and to get across to the general consumer. But I am looking forward to what they can do, and I'm interested to see what you guys think about VR and where you sort of stand on it as well. Drop that down in the comments for me. Anyway guys, I'm going to call it that again. It's been a pleasure. This is Futurizm signing off.